Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Hisham. In today's video I'm going to show you how to do time and chain setup for the Audi Q7 V6 engine, supercharged engine. Yeah, please like, subscribe and comment and tell me something in the comment. Let's begin job. Enjoy watching and learn something today. This tool to turn the engine, yeah, remember, turn the engine to the right, and on the back of the engine it will turn different way to the left, okay, because the timing on this engine is on the back. Making sure the timing tool is tight. Parts number on a cams should be on the top for 4 cams. Making sure the other tool is tight. The same the other side, marking the cam part number and make sure it's on the top. Already I put crankshaft locking tool in place and I tightened it already. Make sure the pin go inside the crankshaft. Inside the crankshaft there's a hole. Make sure the pin go inside the crankshaft. Now I am locking the balancer shaft. I am using a bolt 7mm to put in the place and lock the balancer shaft. I use it like a pin for timing, okay? Now maybe you are ready to push the like button. Thanks. When putting this guide for the chain on the top, make sure it go in, doesn't go out, because there's a teeth, it go in and lock doesn't go out. And make sure the hole in the aluminium is clean, doesn't have any rubbish or plastic from the old guide, okay? I'm keeping say okay. Oh. Just making sure it doesn't go out by itself. Now time to put the chain and the guides on. I like to put the 2 chain on a gear and put in place, so easy for me to hold it and put the bolt on to hold the gear. I'll show you how I do it. I am turning the gear, this metal inside the gear, because there's 2 pins on the back should go in the block, okay? When they go in the block, and so I put the big bolt. The Allen key fell down on the floor trying to play with me. I'm trying to reach it to tie the bolt. I want to tell you something. I do tie the bolt by my hand because I feel the bolt. It's like the bolt talking to me because I have big experience. I've been working mechanic very long time. The best thing to do and must do, tie the bolts with the torque wrench. See the number, how the factory say for the bolt how much tighten should be, and follow the factory what it say. Now time to put the second gear. I am looking for 3 bolts. See behind the gear on the block. So they are like 1, 2, 3. So I make it exactly the same, and I put the bolt to do it easy to put the bolts in place. these two gears, the left and the right, doesn't need, I mean the right and the left, doesn't need the timing setup because just they turn with like a bearing, you know, just to hold in the chain. Now time to put the guides for the chain on. You need to use torque wrench, very important. I like tighten the bolt by hand. I make sure always don't over tight the bolts. When putting this guide on, make sure two bolts doesn't stuck with the guide. Make sure that, so what I do, I put the bolt, I tighten it a bit while holding the guide. When I see the bolt on the top, I put the guide and I start tightening the bolt. Okay, so in this way the guide will go all the way to the block, and when tightened it will be in the right place. It's not like this or like this. Something very important here. You see this tensioner? There's a seal around. This one should make sure put a new one because this one, if leaking pressure, the chain will make noise. Yeah, make sure you put a new seal always for this tensioner. The other tensioner does they don't have seals. Just this one needs seal. Under every tension, I make sure the oil hole where the oil pressure go out, it's clean and clear. So you don't need any rubbish stuck on this area because if stuck, the tension will not open. If you didn't push the like button, push the like button please, and thank you very much, and subscribe in your way. Don't over tight the bolts. Here I am checking everything before I release the tensioner. When releasing the tension, I push a little bit more to help the chain go all the way. Those three bolts, I will tie them later after I put the guide and open the tensioner. So I want to make sure the chain go all the way out around everything and tight with the tensioner, and then I tie the bolts. See the chain how it's going on the top of the tensioner? I mean on the top of the guide and under the guide to the crankshaft. So it's go like this. So if you put it different way, you have to take off the guide again. Just make sure from first time you put like this, so easy. When you put in this gear on, make sure the piston going inside the gear, because there's spring. Will you push the gear and the piston go a different way. So you have to put the bolt on the top of this spring, and when you get the piston, put the piston out and tie the bolt. It will be in a place. Make sure it's in a place. Yeah. Pull the bolts while tying the bolts in the same time. I will make the video play more faster for 5 seconds, okay? For 5 seconds. So you can see what next. When tighten the gear, I like to hold the gear with tool so I don't make a lot of pressure on the guide and the chain. So I'm going to use the tool to hold the gear as I can to make it easy for the guide and the chain. Yeah. Be careful. Watch your hand. Safety first, always. Always think about safety. Now making sure all the chain in the right place, and then I release the tensioner. After releasing tensioner, I push the tensioner out, and I will tie the gear for the balancer shaft, 3 bolts. Now it's time to put the tensioner on. Now putting the gear on, make sure the part number of the cam, they are on the top, and the gear has line. I put the blue color on it, and you see the aluminum on top of the cylinder head, like this example, aluminum here, the plate. I put the mark on the middle. You put the dot, the blue color, as you can in the middle of the plate for the aluminum, from this side to this side example, yeah, on a cylinder head on an aluminum thing. This one the same. There's a very small dot on a gear. Yeah, you put the dot of the gear on the aluminum in the middle where I put the mark. Exactly the same at the other side. And then one tie everything, release the tensioner. But there's something very important when releasing the tensioner. Yeah, I'll show you later. Here I do tie the bolt and I do release it a little bit, okay? Because I need the gear to turn as it need when release the tensioner. And this bolt, the same thing I do for it. Just making sure the marks are right. Now ready to release the tensioner. The right side timing exactly the same like the left side. After this, what I do, I make sure I tied 4 bolts for the cam, and then I loose the bolts a little bit. Now time to release the tensioner, but I don't tie the cams now. Later when I lock everything, okay? The crankshaft locking pin is on now. Now I'm going to check all the timing before I tie everything, okay? Before tying all the bolt and locking the timing, what I do, I take off this bolt and I make sure the balancer shaft gear turn by itself without touching the bolt. There's space. This is very important. So when there's space, that means it turn as it need. Okay, and then I tie everything. You better use the torque wrench and see what the factory say for tightening the bolts, and follow the factory what it say for tighten the bolts. But for me, I like to tie by hand because I feel the bolt. I told you in the beginning of the video, okay? I told you already. Now I am pulling the pin out and see in the gear on the block there's the hole for the pin. Here's something very important. Now I hold the special tool and I tension the tensioner to make the tensioner itself go out, and there's no space for the chain to play, and then I tie the bolt, okay? I tension the special tool to the right for the tight, okay? Exactly how I'm tying. And the other tension, the other gear, I keep tension and I tie the other gear 80 nm, okay? The passenger side, I have to tension the inlet gear, okay, with this tool, and I tension to the right, and I tie the bolt 80 nm, and I keep tensioning, and I tie the other bolt 80 nm, and then what I do, I tie 4 bolts 90 degrees. Be careful, don't hurt yourself. Maybe you need somebody to hold the tool for you, and you tie the bolt 90 degrees. Be careful, always be careful. Safety first, okay? Safety first always. See how I keep tensioning the gear to the right. Now I tie all the bolts for the cams 90 degrees, but now I hold to the left with the special tool and I tie to the right. 4 bolts, 90 degrees. After tying the bolt 90 degrees, the timing is set up very good, okay? And now I have to take off all the pins for locking the timing chain, and turn the engine one time and check the timing again, make sure everything all right, and I will do easy compression test for the engine my way, okay? Very important to put safety glass on. I done turn the engine twice to check the timing chain setup. Timing chain setup 100% right, and everything all right. Now I am doing a compression test my way for the engine, and you see 6-cylinder has very good pressure. That's mean timing very good. Engine will run straight away, inshallah, God willing. Please don't forget me, like, subscribe, and comment, and tell me something in the comment. If you have any question, tell me in the comment, yeah? And I will answer you if I can. Okay? Thank you. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and tell me something in the comment. I'll see you in the next video. Good night.